I'm so happy, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. Greetings, ghouls, and welcome to another episode of the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast Bros, where I, the titular Hobbesy, and my good buddy over yon, RJ, will romp around and piss all over this week's horror film du jour. Promise not to piss over it all that too badly, but a little peek behind the scenes. We're starting this episode over again after being maybe 20 minutes in. Would you say, RJ?
At least
20. Yeah, we're about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in just to things. Before I realized, OBS reset my dear sweet audio output again. Actually, while I'm at it, let me check my audio input just to be safe, because now I'm at least that stayed the same. Can confirm audio input is good. Audio output is now good. Rebooting. Welcome. How you doing today, RJ? Again?
we're still doing good.
Man, doing great. We're doing excellent in here today, guys, and I am definitely not ready to give my... We're going to take it back. I almost said something a little dark. Anyway, today we are getting into... A24's 2023 horror extraordinaire. Talk to me. We talked about how we couldn't figure out the date previously. Yeah, due to something similar that keeps happening with us when it comes to looking at semi-modern features and whatnot, and just the general film festival. Wow, there's a big pause there. Film festival circuit that a lot of films seem to run on the path to distribution. We're both doing well today. All little flip-ups and errors aside, it's all part of the growing process. Fun stuff for you. We don't have any news this week that wouldn't date us too far ahead, with Deadpool coming out or having come out yesterday for us.
I mean, it's not, as of this recording, it's not out yet, but by the time this comes out, it would have been out at least a month.
Oh, it's not out yet?
No.
My bad. I thought it had come out already. I thought it just dropped. All right, never mind. It's not out yet, but it will be long out and probably out of theaters by the time you hear this. So watch it on streaming services, I guess. But beyond that, we don't really have anything, nothing going on, nothing planned, just quiet weekends ahead with ourselves and our loved ones, I'm sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the film today, because we don't have a lot to go off of as far as background information and whatnot, but we have a nice little bit of fill for you here. Pulling my notes up.
Because I was just going to say, we kind of talked about how, like, movies nowadays, like back in the day, like I said, the movies like Halloween, Child's Play, like the older movies that we did that came out like 70s, 80s, or even 90s. If you didn't have like a theatrical release, you weren't really getting like the big exposure. Like, yeah, you did have your movies that went straight to video. Kids, I know you don't know what VHS is. It was these tapes, you see, and you put film on them, and you put them in the VCR, and you hit play, and then hopefully the tape never messed up or got tangled up in the VCR, because then you're just screwed. But anyways,
you just said a bunch of words explaining an item that they might not know about, with a bunch of words for items that they might not know about.
Yep. Oh, all the kids are way confused now. But anyways, more modern movies. We're kind of discussing like the They get, I don't want to say an easier path because it's not easy making a movie. It never is. It never will be. But they do kind of have, there's more avenues to get exposure. Like with streaming services, with you don't necessarily have to go to theaters in order to get eyeballs on your movie. Or I even use the example like music. You have so many avenues to get your content out there, like just like what we're doing with the internet and YouTube and Spotify and all that. Like there are many avenues to get to get your movie out there and exposed to a broad audience.
Right. And I mean, you did during COVID times, even where, everything's shut down, people still found a way to get stuff out. And it's kind of the beauty of the
Oh,
digital age we live in.
streaming was literally the only entertainment there was, because there was no sports, there's no going to a movie, there was no going out and shopping. So it was like Amazon, Netflix,
Right.
Hulu, like that was your entertainment.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think during that time is when we saw kind of the bigger takeoff of like YouTube's paid subscription services and whatnot
Hmm.
as well. I mean, even during that time, it was still easy to connect. People found ways to connect and create and whatnot. Like there were horror films made during that time, using over like Zoom calls or Skype or whatever. There was music being made between artists, all performing remotely from their own homes and their own setups and whatnot. So yeah, the digital streaming age and everything is an age of convenience. Truly, it's also the darkest timeline type of thing where we just get kind of I almost said inundated, and I don't know if that's the word I was going for. I don't think that's the word I was going for. But an oversaturation. There we go. We kind of get an oversaturation of product as well. Just like us, a couple of white guys on the internet with a podcast. Let's go, living the dream. But back in the day, yeah, definitely there was a greater chance of IP death just from not being able to get those eyes on. And you had to be good, and you had to be lucky to get that big cult following in the video stores if you didn't already have those eyes on you.
Or at least good box art.
Good box art, right? Something eye-catching.
Yeah. Again, kids. So back in the day, we had these things called blockbusters.
Hey, there's still a Blockbuster in
I'm
the
pretty sure
world.
it closed. No, I'm pretty sure it's closed.
Oh, really?
There are no more blockbusters
I'll
in the world.
fucking
Yeah.
cry.
The last one closed, I think, a couple years ago.
Well, shit. My day is ruined. Um, the death of childhood. It's gone now. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. If you didn't have the cinema, you didn't have the eyes on you, unfortunately. You didn't have the Hollywood eyes on you. I feel like VHS culture, I don't know how much of a thing it was back when VHS was the medium. But I mean, when we went through like the early aughts and furthermore up into now, there's like I'm gonna say a fetish, but what I meant was a fascination with VHS. Because I mean, we get it in a lot of like the VHS and analog horror. It's this throwback idea. It's kind of a nostalgia thing, I guess, which I guess comes with every era or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot now, I think, that are still being picked up and appreciated, that maybe didn't have eyes on them when they came out 20, 30 years ago or whatever. But yeah. I don't know, do we want to go into another gush, by the way?
About how you had like a 2% knowledge going into this movie, and I had zero.
Right.
And like movie was like from the minute we like started the movie, like I think both of us are just like, damn,
Oh, you know what we
like
did
this is
again?
good.
You know what we did again?
Um,
We got into it without saying the title of the film.
you said it, didn't you?
I don't think I did I? Audience, if
did.
you're
Yeah,
listening,
'cause-
tell me if I said it previously, because I won't know until I'm editing. Um, I don't know that I said it was 2023's Talk to Me,
Yeah.
but it was 2023's Talk to Me. If I did say it, hey, go me, but I've already fucked it up once. Trust me, previous recording doesn't exist for you to know. But yeah, no, we this was a first watch for both of us. The only knowledge I really had of it was YouTube ads back when it was coming out, way back yonder of last year. And you had nothing, but it really came out the gates, and I will
They came
say
on guns blazing,
my
like literally.
dick was indeed knocked in the dirt. I am still dusting my balls from last night's adventure with this film. Was not expecting it. I'd heard it quoted as like the best horror movie of 2023 and yada yada yada. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. You know, A24 is great. They could be hit or miss, just like any studio, especially studios that put out so much or are in the business of distributing so much. But yeah, it's really good film. I am so happy that I finally got to watch, because it's one I've wanted to sit with for a long while and just never got around to it. So last night was a treat, to be sure. Any opening thoughts before we go ahead and we can just get right to the cast and crew information? Start talking a little production.
I mean, no, because like I said, like both of us, didn't really have anything going into this movie whatsoever. Then I can probably speak for both of us. Like, very pleasantly surprised how good
Definitely.
it was. So,
Definitely. All right. Well, as was said, today we're talking about 2023's Talk to Me, a film about idiot teenagers making horrible decisions and ultimately paying horrible prices. There's also a whole lot of selfishness in there, and maybe some gaslighting while we're at it. Who knows? Directed by the Filippo brothers, Danny and Michael, written by Danny Filippo and Bill Hinsman, and based on a concept by Daley Pearson. The film was produced by Samantha Jennings and Christina Satan
I'm still
or
going with
Keaton
Seaton.
or Caton
I'm still going
or
with
Seaton.
Seaton.
Somebody email us and tell us how all these names are pronounced, because I promise I'm messing them up. And with cinematography by Aaron McLiskey and score by Cornell Wilczek. There we go. I'm sticking to Wilczek. I'm convinced it's Wilczek. That's how Wilczek is spelled.
I'm just gonna nod and smile on that one.
All right.
So
Thank you.
this film, surprisingly enough, was actually the director's debut film, which again, with how much we enjoyed it, it was kind of surprising this was like a debut film for them. But speaking of that, apparently they were approached to do an unnamed DC film that, again, have no clue which film they were approached for, but they were asked to do a DC film, and they turned it down in favor of this movie instead, which I think they made a very wise choice with how good this one came out.
I'm definitely inclined to agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say insert joke Green Lantern 2
Yeah.
film here.
I made a. You guys didn't get to hear it, but I made a banger quip about them turning down Green Lantern 2. It wasn't really a banger, but I'm gonna hype it up like it was. Just pretend for me. But yeah, no, really curious as to what the DC title was, whether it's whether it went
I'm
into
still speculating
production.
it was the Flash,
Right. I mean, that's entirely possible. And
and
like
you
you
know what?
said,
Kudos to them turning it down if it was the Flash because there was so much drama around that movie.
I can't remember the guy's name.
It's Ezra something,
Ezra Miller,
maybe?
I think.
That sounds right.
I think it's
That
Ezra
sounds
Miller. There
right.
we go. Now it's ringing. You
That
said
sounds
Ezra and I
right.
got it. All right. I don't know actors associated with superheroes because I don't fuck with superheroes. But anyway, yeah, no, it's still really cool and great film for a debut. Like, holy shit, I can't wait to see what else they do. Um, it was good, so good. I don't know who was responsible for more of the writing, whether it was one of the Philippos or if it was Bill. Sorry, Bill. Bill Hinsman. There we go.
Hinsman.
That's right. Yes, I don't know which one did the majority of the writing or who did. Maybe it was a really solid combined. They did
Hopefully
really
it's-
great.
Hopefully, it's not in our Child's Play situation.
Yeah, right. I hope they don't fight about it in a decade and then hate each other for the rest of their lives. That would be sad because everything about this film kind of kicked ass a lot. The writing was great. The Australia was great. Again, just pointing out that we need more Australian movies, I think, because just the writing has a charm to it. We learned words, I think, or at least
We
we
learned
missed.
things that we thought were euphemisms and they definitely weren't.
We learned words, and then we realized we didn't learn anything. We were just mishearing, or misunderstanding. But yes. Good stuff. The film stars Sophie Wilde, who did a fantastic job in the lead role of Mia, Alexandra Jensen, Joe Bird, Otis Donji, Miranda Otto, Zoe Tarakis, who I hope it is Tarakis. I'm very sorry, Zoe. Chris, I nailed this name when we did it the first time,
You did.
and I just stalled on it.
Now you're overthinking it.
Yeah, now I'm overthinking it. Alosio,
There you go.
Chris Alosio, Marcus Johnson, and Alexandria Stevenson, which I also did
Stephenson.
pronounce as Stephenson last time. Fuck you with the double F. Don't play with me. That's a Stephen, son. Sen, excuse me. Anyway.
And speaking of debuts and all that, this was actually Sophie Wilde's first leading role in a film, which, again, if somehow, some way, however, if she stumbles upon this, bravo.
Right.
Like,
Clap, 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 clap,
she
clap, clap.
was amazing in this movie.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying like she's the reason like why the movie was so good, but she was definitely a reason why the movie was good.
She
Because she played that role very, very well.
disturbed and terrified. She had it down.
Yes, definitely.
She was scary. I was scared of her at times. Like, it was good. No, she played it really well. Budgeted at 4.5 million USD. The film made 92.2 million in the box office, seeing multiple airings over the film festival circuit in 2022, with its first stop being the Adelaide Film Festival on October 30th of the year. On July 27th, 2023, it would receive a theatrical release in Australia, with North American and UK releases following the following day. Pardon me, I can read what I write.
Reading's hard.
The reading can be hard.
And speaking of Adelaide, the setting of the movie was Adelaide, Australia, which is the home, where the directors are from. And then going back to the releases, A24, A24. I'm not sure how you say their company name, whatever. This was the top grossing horror film in A24's history, which I thought that was kind of a fun little thing.
Yeah, that was pretty swank. I think it was September 3rd. They ended up overtaking Hereditary for that top slot. And I think it was like 44. I'm not looking at the page right now, but I think it was like, here we go, 44.2 million? Still not sure, but I think that sounds right, right? Yeah, a running total.
Yeah, give or take. We're just gonna prices right it.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I was actually looking at Adelaide, Australia. I'm like, damn, this place is pretty as fuck. Hold up. They got that? That's pretty. Oh, damn. It would take us 1 day and 1 hour to fly there from our nearby quote unquote big city.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want to be on planes for any period of time that is that. These motherfuckers just showed me a panda bear. All right, we're leaving. Thank you, Adelaide. I want to go to Adelaide now. They probably got some creepy, ghosty, weird shit.
Every place that's been around for more than 200 years has some creepy, ghosty, weird shit.
I mean, we did pretty much drop an English prison colony on top of them. So, yeah, I imagine. We're going to get passports. We're going to travel. I don't care what you say. We're going to travel. We're going to go see some haunted shit. We're going to go see some weird shit, RJ. I promise. Beyond that, I guess that's... We have technically more information. That's just all we had scripted for the time. But there's a little more that gets into stuff. And I think you know better off the top of your head than I do. Yeah, you can at least direct me.
There was, again, did not catch it when we were watching it, but apparently there was a line. I can't remember their name in the movie, but
Haley.
It's played by Zoe Tarakis. Again, hopefully saying the name right. The person that they played in the movie, they were how do you call it? Basically referred to as they/them in the movie one whole time. One tiny little line in the movie got banned in Kuwait because of the one line, and I think in the first 30 minutes of the film.
Reading up on that, the reports came despite the fact that the film was screening in other parts of the conservative Gulf region. Let's see, on August 9th, Kuwaiti Authority formally announced the ban of both Talk to Me and Barbie, which has an underlying feminist theme as well as a transgender actress, claiming that it was to protect public ethics and social traditions.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was, because, oh no, the big bad scary transgender person might eat me in my sleep? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I think it's more of weird. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert on sociological trends and socio-theocratic trends.
It just got canceled. I'm not sure yet, so.
I will fuck it. I will say that if you worship any god that has any problem with human beings being human beings, you can personally suck my fat cock. But beyond that, that's just a personal stance, I as the founder, co-founder, my views and opinions do not necessarily reflect the views and the opinions of the Hobbesy Horror Screamcast bros.
That's the lawyers talking.
Pardon?
That's the lawyers talking.
Oh, I was about to denounce that. Fuck, you're right. Yep, nope, the lawyers are shaking their heads, kids. I can't say that on record. But if we were off record, just know. Wink. Can I still tell him to suck a fat cock? Mine specifically? That looks like a thumbs up. Anyway, there was that, and there was one other. No, actually, you already covered it. Yeah, it was the No, you didn't.
Oh, no, I'm calling it a porcelain hand because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
A porcelain hand that is pretty important in the movie. Apparently, they had 6 of them made just in case like anything broke on any of them. They had backups.
Which I imagine it was probably a plaster casting for each of them, so it's probably a little bit weighty and probably really, really fragile. I'm kind of curious as to how many maybe broke during the filming.
I mean, there's some homework for the kids.
Yeah, right. I bet somebody's already done it. It's somewhere on the internet. I could find it. But yeah, no, that's still pretty cool. I wonder if there are any of those props for sale anywhere.
Of course you do.
There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Talk to me. Prop hand. Any auction? Any auction anywhere, possibly? I doubt that is official, but it is very convincing and pretty. Oh, they've got them on A24 shop. No, I want the real prop. I want the official. That is cool though. Definitely not going to be looking into picking up one of those later. Not at all. Yeah, all right. Well, with that, I think that's everything, eh?
Yeah.
Just as far as what we were gonna mention also that there was a prequel that was done during the filming.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty much just done with like phone camera type recording and everything. That was put online initially, but taken down after there were complaints and concerns about the content of it. And then there was also a sequel announced at the same time that they talked about the prequel project. Apparently it was in development almost right away, so they kind of just went right into it. So I'm kind of interested in when we'll get an announcement out of that.
With the movie literally, well, at the time of this recording, the movie literally came out in theaters a year ago.
Yeah.
Like almost exactly a year ago from the time of this recording. So yeah, that is pretty quick getting right into the next one.
I guess they knew they had a hit on their hands.
Yeah. I mean, strike while the iron's hot.
Right, definitely. I mean, I hate that phrase because in the context of this, it kind of reminds me of the Blair Witch Project and how they just took that mindset of it and ruined that movie, ruined the sequels and whatnot to that film.
That movie was awesome until you found out it wasn't real.
Oh, come on. It wasn't going to be real, but they did a great job of playing it up as real.
That's what made it awesome.
No, legit. That was incredible. We'll talk.
And then when you found out it wasn't real and you watched it again, it was just like, kind of lost its luster.
There's some fun facts about that we'll talk about if we ever cover the Blair Witch Project, which I imagine we will one day.
I'm sure it'll be on the list.
Yeah. Season 3 spoilers, kids. But yeah, no. Looking forward to that. That fast turnaround, and can't wait to get a fucking reveal trailer or something. Just I want it. But yeah, with that, I think we can go ahead and move ourselves into trailer territory, eh?
That was a great transition, by the way.
Was it? Is that sarcasm?
No,
what did I even do?
You brought it to the trailer. You brought it to the trailer.
Did I?
Yeah.
I feel like you're being sarcastic.
No.
Okay, if you say so.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, moving on, asshole. Whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and kick it.
I am ready when you are, sir.
All right, let's go.
Have you seen the group chat? We're doing it again tonight. Huh? No. Please. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want to forget about it. Huh?
It's just a really low blow right there.
I'll do it.
That was actually kind of cool how they did the logo. I know you guys can't see it, but I highly recommend checking out the trailer just for that logo transformation right there.
Yeah, the logo transformation was really good. From directors.
Light a candle to open the door. Blow it out to close it.
Seeing them put the dog out now
Oh
after
my
knowing
God.
what that's connected to.
Spoiler alert, though, we can finally have a movie with a dog in it, and the
Now
dog
say,
the dog lived.
Right? Dog doesn't die? What?
talk to me.
Talk to me.
And actually, they did a really good job of cutting this trailer together.
Yeah.
What did the hand feel like?
Felt amazing. I could see and feel everything on the other side. So my mom, she was trying to reach out. I'm here. Still been seeing stuff.
You mean saying stuff?
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it? Oh my God, they followed us. Like it was. They're not gonna stop.
Oh.
They're never gonna stop.
Rewatching the trailer, there's things that I'm putting together from the movie that I kind of missed here and there.
Like you.
It was fucking creepy.
Talk to me.
She plays scary possessed really well, I'll say that. Yeah, the trailers. Nope, don't need to start it again, gang. The trailer itself is really quiet and subdued, which is a lot of this movie, kinda. And did a really good job of cutting it together there in the party scene where they're getting all set up and whatnot, because there were parts from when just her getting set up there. There was also parts that they cut in from Riley getting set up and whatnot, getting the timer started, and it's all very smooth and transitioning, and great presentation by oh hell, I've forgotten her name. Mia, I'm sorry, I've already forgotten the actress's name. I'm so bad.
Mia, me.
But she,
both.
yeah, just her presentation is, oh, she's so scary. She plays creepy so good. But yes, the film is essentially surrounding a handful of teenagers who get their hands on a haunted hand. I'm going to be saying hand a lot in this, apparently. And it's almost like a drug to them. It causes an immense euphoria, and they can see spirits on the other side, and yada yada yada, and they fight them and do this, that, and the other, and whoo, bad times. But we start off right away. We start off with unintroduced character A stumbling through the house on his way, looking for his brother, who's locked himself in the bedroom.
It's like a big house party.
Yeah, the whole house party going on.
Kind of situation.
And I guess this is kind of the place and position where the whole hand thing started, maybe? I would assume it started as a party thing for them. And we didn't get a lot of exposition on that, I don't think, on the background of it until a little later on.
I think this beginning part of the movie is literally just to get your attention and get you to watch the rest of it, because it does its job very well.
Yeah, it really gets attention quite quickly, because Cole finds Duckett in his room. He pulls him out. He's covered in scratches and blood and all this, that, and the other. And what does Duckett tell him? He's like, "I'm going to kill everyone here," or something like that, or a lot of people are going to die, or something of that nature. But gives him this grim notice, and then he's trying to get him out of the room and everything, pulls him out, and everybody's standing around with cameras.
At this time it's 2022,
right?
Kids, phones, everybody's cameras out on this guy, and he's because I believe they're brothers, correct?
Yeah, it's Cole and Duckett.
So he's trying to the Cole, the I don't know which one's older or anything like that, but he's like, kind of, you know, giving everybody shit for, pulling out their cameras and recording his brother when he's clearly not okay. And then he goes to turn around and, look at his brother, and he just gets stabbed right through the fucking shoulder.
First jump scare, straight into the knife to the chest, shoulder area, whatever.
Oh, but it doesn't stop there.
No, goodness no. He flips the blade around and then jams it into his own face. He makes himself a little bit of a unicorn there. And it's a very brutal and intense unicorn.
I mean, like, I just the first thing, it's like, okay, movie, you have my attention.
Got my fucking attention. There's a little bit of a theme in movies starting out with really powerful suicides. Got it in Devil 2, and that might have been one of the best parts of the movie. And it definitely gets the fucking attention. Like, I was strapped in at that point. It was over.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, believe me, I wasn't moving. I like, the movie could have ended right there, and I'll be like, bravo.
I know, right? Like, holy shit, that was a
fucking
great movie. Did you see that?
It was literally 5 minutes, and I'm just like, yep, okay. I'm asses in the seat, got it.
Right? Anybody get an award for this? Fuck this. It was brutal. It was it's just like a taste of what's to come, and like, you're not expecting it at all. But we get a jump to Mia, who is having an issue because we are at the 2nd anniversary of her mother's quote unquote suicide. It's quote unquote suicide. It's a suicide. Even though we're led to believe for part of the film that it is accidental, I guess.
I think, like, in her mind, to kind of cope with it, she was, not believing her mom committed suicide.
At this, by the end of the movie, I'm still not 100% sure. But yes, she's had these problems. Her mother accidentally died. She has a bad relationship with her father, just kind of distant and whatnot. And she's kind of taken up with her best friend and her best friend's family. It seems almost like family with them. And we're introduced to we're kind of introduced to the core group, I'd say, at this point, with Mia, Jade, and Riley, who I'd say are the 3 stars of the film.
Yeah.
They're planning to go to a house party. Mia kind of begs and guilts Jade into going to this house party where they're going to be playing with this haunted hand that they've been watching these videos of, where you take the hand and weird shit happens. Uses her mother's 2-year memorial thing as a bargaining chip of why Jade should go with her. Jade can't think of the word for it. I was gonna say laments, and it's not lament, so relents. There we go. Jade relents and decides to go with her little brother Riley, deciding that he's gonna help himself along as well, and if she doesn't let him go, he's gonna tell Mom. Apparently they've got a really great relationship with her mom, though, because Sue is a fantastic mother. I love Sue. She's so fucking savage. I haven't even pulled up my notes, and I know I've got a few about that. I don't know how many notes you've taken, but in these opening scenes, do you have any commentary, anything of interest that stuck out to you? I'm talking to the side of the microphone too, so it's gonna sound weird.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally took 3 notes.
I knew you didn't. You didn't take a lot. I didn't know how far into notes you actually got. I had holy shit, that opening with the knife to the face, the rude kids, the elf, the scene we get with Riley and his friend where they're sitting there fucking going back and forth
Talking
over
about
cigarettes. And his friend's an absolute fucking tool. I don't like that kid at all. Oh yeah, we get Mia picking up Riley from hanging out with his little buddy, and we get the kangaroo in the beginning that was hitting the road.
Yeah, 'cause
which
that does kind of come up later in the movie.
yeah, that is something that comes up later in the film, which is also weird, and I didn't 100% understand. I guess I kind of do. I see the relation in it. Something about elf disrespect. I don't know what. I know it was his jerk friend said something about elves.
Yeah, they had like Riley's friend had like a video of somebody, and Riley made the comment like, "Oh, he kind of looks elfish," and his friend's like, "The fuck is Elvis?" And he's like, "No, elf looks like an elf."
Yes. But yeah, we eventually get into the house and everything, and Sue making her way through the house. She gets home from work, tells Riley to get his shit off the table, which I find kind of wild because Riley was doing his homework. And, like, that's not very encouraging for a kid who's like taking the initiative to do his homework without having to be told. I have a massive C word here for some reason. Oh, I know where that comes in. Anyway, that's later on. We get to we move through this. Jade pretty much asks her mom if she can go out after her mom asks her if she's sneaking out or accuses her of sneaking out. Sue's fantastic and she knows everything. I love her. But pretty much gets semi-guilted, semi-extorted into taking Riley with them. They go to the house party and everything, where we get this weird introduction where immediately Mia is the odd one out. For some reason, she is unliked.
She's weird and a loner and is clingy to Jade and Riley.
Right. She's just not liked by Haley, and I don't
High
like
school kids, man.
Haley's got. I don't know where the fuck Haley's attitude comes from, because they're like
that's where the C word comes in for your notes.
That was the massive cunt. Yes. Pardon my use, but we're talking Australia today.
It's true.
It's true. This is thematic. But yeah, and so she's trying to mingle and socialize. Jade tries to get her to mingle and socialize, loosen up, all that good stuff. But she knows she isn't liked. But they pull out the hand, and everybody gets settled down. She's the one who's been watching the videos on this hand the whole time. And she's the first one to volunteer.
I think it's because of the social awkwardness and just wanting to fit in, kind of.
Right.
Thing, and show that to everybody else that she's cool and all that.
Yeah, like, come on, guys, I'm cool. Like me. I'm just lonely. Don't just be my friend, guys. Let me do the heroin. Let me do the heroin first. But yeah, she volunteers herself to be the first one up on taking the hand, and immediately this is where things just start cranking up. She takes the hand. She says the magic words, "Talk to me," and then immediately retches her face away and lets go.
Yeah, that literally puts like the spirit in front of you, and then the next thing you're supposed to say is "I let you in," which I don't know why anybody would want that to happen, but
yeah, that's like rule number 1 of dealing with like demons and ghosts. Don't let them in. Don't do it. And vampires.
I grew up in a house of if there was no such thing as an Ouija board allowed in the house for moments like this, so there's no fucking way a hand would be allowed in my house either.
All right, but look, man, Ouija board, it's not that serious. I had a glow-in-the-dark one. It was pretty cool. I was only like 14, 15. I'm sure I was safe.
Don't tell my mom that.
Dude, look, I may or may not have a demon attached to me. I don't know. I get weird scratches sometimes. It just happens. We'll just keep that one away from Mom. But yeah, so she gets locked into this. The first spirit we get is a creepy old man, and she immediately turns away.
a
Let's go.
bloated, like almost like, or no, I actually missed
You missed that
part of
one,
it.
yeah, because you glanced down to
'cause I
take a
literally
note.
looked down to take a note, and then the jump scare happened. I'm like, wait, what, what?
Yeah, it was a very quick situation. And
I'm gonna have to watch the movie again.
but she gets talked into putting her hand back on it because she didn't say I let you in. So they coax her into it, puts her hands back on it. And I guess there are rules to this hand we should establish here, which I think more rules come up later. I don't know. But the first rule is no longer than 90 seconds. 90 seconds and they're stuck with you. There's no escape. You're fucked. Yada, yada. I think that might be the only rule, actually.
I'm pretty sure that was like the one and only rule, yeah.
Aside from the fact that we have to strap you to the chair for safety's sake, I suppose.
And it was pretty much for everybody's safety, including the person getting possessed.
It turns out it's not so safe, but we'll get to that too. So puts her hand back on, says the magic word. She gets the bloated lady the second time, if I'm not mistaken, or the drowned woman. I'm not sure what the character is credited as.
Very soggy, very bloated, very...
Says the magic words, and her head is immediately snapped back. And like throughout this whole thing, we're getting these weird, like gurgly sounds, like bubbling water and whatnot. It is very intense, and by the time they get to the 90 seconds, she's like locked in. They can't get it off her hand, but nobody really tries.
Yeah, they just
aside
kinda
from
just,
like
sit
Jordan
back
or
with
whatever.
of course, with their phones out, recording the whole time.
Right.
And yeah,
I
because again, 2022. Let's pull our phones and take video of everything.
Not Jordan, Joss, excuse me. Yeah, Joss tries to rip it out of his hand. Meanwhile, they are still locked together, and the bloated woman is talking about where he is in the room, and begins talking to Riley, saying, "Oh, he really wants this one," or "He's very interested in this one," or something of that nature, but being very threatening towards Riley. Before they're finally able to rip it out of her hand, and she is over the 90 seconds rule, which nobody seems to make a big deal about, surprisingly, for there only being one rule. But everything goes over, and they eventually get the hell out of there, take off for the evening, and return home, go to bed, yada yada. And then we get kind of this weird sequence where this movie has kind of a lot of filler, but this is where we start getting a little more creep, because Riley is, he's kind of creeped out by everything that happened that night. Kid's only like 14 or whatever, so he checks in,
threatened by a
right,
possessed, his possessed friend,
right. If this person who is practically a sister to me is possessed and telling me that I am the target of somebody that I can't see, it's a problem. But yeah, so he goes to his sister's room, Jade's room, and she pretty much tells him to bump off. He goes out to where Mia is sleeping, and they settle in. He asks her about the experience with it, how it felt. She begins describing it as like this ecstasy and how it was amazing, how she could feel everything on the other side and whatnot.
like how she's, well, sorry there, but like how she's more like of a passenger instead of the person in charge, and she kind of loved that feeling, which again, that kind of goes back to like her depression of losing her mom, her loneliness, and all that stuff.
Definitely. That was, it was, it's really weird and a strong setup, and you can see how she's playing into, not how she's playing into, but how she's being kind of played into this system of interest and comfort and addiction, the beginning of an addiction. because they really do use this as a drug, as we see later on, where they're just everybody's taking repeated turns on it and coming out of it and looking like they just like had sex. But yeah, they start settling down for the evening. They fall asleep. He's watching it comes back on him, and he's watching a YouTube video or whatever. He's knocked out, and somebody takes the phone from his hand, and then we see this rotted kind of corpse arm or hand reach down and kind of touch his cheek or whatever. But yeah, then we go into the next day, as you were saying, if you want to pick up there, because
I think one thing I don't think you mentioned was they had the 90-second rule, but when Mia was possessed, they actually went over the 90 seconds, and you and I kind of theorized that maybe it comes in later in the movie, but maybe that had something to do with why she's like seeing things, and and later on in the movie and all that. But it picks up the next day. The boyfriend's name, is it Daniel? I'm thinking Daniel.
I think so. Yes, remember. Daniel. Yeah.
He basically is asking Jade and Mia to talk to it was Haley and Joss, right?
Yes.
Excuse me. But because they have the hand, and he wanted to be the next person to do it. So, they talk to them. They literally convince them to come over to their house after her mom leaves to, do it again, but, have Daniel grab the hand and be possessed and all that.
This whole scene and everything gets fucking weird.
Yeah.
There are a few parts in this film that get fucking weird.
Yeah, this is the part you were referring to earlier, where they're kind of using it more like a drug, more, kind of like, just
everybo's taking whippets of spirits.
Like there's no consequences whatsoever, having a spirit literally enter your body and then leaving your body, and it's like the more you do it, the longer this thing in and all that, they're probably not all leaving. There's probably still traces of them inside of you.
Yeah, like acid stays in the spinal cord for a long time, man. I don't even want to think about how long ectoplasm stays in there. Apparently Xbox just sent me a message. Sorry about that, gang. But yeah, it's this whole scene and setup gets weird, but it definitely displays them using it as a drug, really. But we get Daniel's first sitting where it gets real uncomfortable. Whoever's in him, whatever's in him, makes eyes towards Mia. I guess as an establishment, Mia and Daniel are they were in a relationship at some point. They're exes, and now Daniel is with Jade. But he's giving her eyes, and she's kind of smiling weirdly during this, which is not like laughing like everybody else. I don't know if you caught that. She's a little bit weird about it. But yeah, lots of moaning, lots of thrusting, and then gosh dagummit, a makeout scene with the dog.
Which, of course, nobody's trying to pull the dog away. They just get the phones out and film it, and then pulls the hand away from them after.
As you and I are just sitting here, not the dog. Don't do it. Don't fuck the dog, man.
Oh, I thought this.
Don't kill the dog.
Like
don't fuck the dog.
Because this whole time, because they're all having fun with it and everything, and then the scene starts slowly goes from party, everybody having fun to
really
sudden,
weird and uncomfortable.
The music goes away and it starts getting more and more serious, and then I'm like, just don't do anything to the dog, because I thought something was gonna happen to the dog.
You thought the dog was gonna die. I was really worried he was gonna fuck that dog. I was really worried that dog was gonna have a penis in some part of it, And I could not have stood for that. Um, two types of thought here. But yeah, it's a very uncomfortable scene, but then we get a montage of everybody just doing it and fucking having fun and laughing, and even Daniel, who ran out fucking embarrassed, demanding they delete the videos, comes back and is doing it again and again. And I'll admit, they make it look fun as fuck. If I were dumb, maybe I'd do it too. But I have a no spirits in my body rule. Nothing goes in unless I put it there. This continues, they go through, and then we get towards the end of the evening where they're trying to wrap it up, which is really weird because it seems like they're at this a lot more than the hour that Haley said she could be there. But pretty much they get the little brother, they get Riley in the seat and coax it to, oh, we'll just leave him for 60 seconds or 50 seconds or whatever they eventually bump it down to.
I think it was 50.
And this is where it got, you knew
this
something
is
was
where,
going to
like,
happen
the
because
mood
there
got
was
serious
no
because, like,
music. There was
No sound, no nothing, and you're just, you and I are just like anticipating the whole time, like shit's hitting the fan real fucking soon.
Yeah, his head jacks back, and he pretty much, it seems like his breathing is completely choked off.
Yeah.
Jade is shouting at them to get him out of it, and
No, she wasn't even in the room because she left and didn't even.
Oh, yeah,
know
she
he
had left
was,
at this point.
doing it, and then it turns out that it was actually Mia's mom that was inside of
that's
Riley.
right, allegedly.
And then as they were, coming up on the 50 seconds, of course, Mia's telling them, no, don't, because she wants to
She wants
talk
to
to her
talk
mom
to
and
her
all that, and doesn't want to break the connection or anything like that. And then
he gets choked off again.
Yeah, and
Oh,
just out of nowhere bashes his head right on the table, and
I
then does it again. And of course, nobody's trying to stop
nobody's
this.
trying to stop it. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
His
And he just repeatedly bashes his head to where like he just has blood dripping, and then gets thrown to the side of the room to where he starts bashing his head on
the edge of a
desk,
fucking
and then-
desk.
And then this is where Jade comes in and sees what is going on, and he's just having that one final big wind up to really crack his
It's
skull
a fucking
open.
killing
and
blow.
Jade just gets her hand in between her and the desk, and of course breaks her hand, but keeps him from killing himself. And then they finally get the hand out of Riley's possession.
Yeah, this scene, I am not ashamed to admit I was watching it through my pop filter. That little bit of fuzz makes me feel a little bit better, but this was fucking brutal. This caused my stomach to twist into knots. Like, I actually had a stomach ache after this scene was wrapped up. Not that it wasn't like an expected thing, because as you were saying, like, we both kind of came to the conclusion that shit's about to get
happen.
Right. Like,
I honestly thought he was killing somebody else.
Right, like somebody else in that room was gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was gonna be bashing his skull in repeatedly.
Yeah, it hit hard and it hit fast. And we don't get many deaths at all in this film. I think we only get like 2 deaths in this film.
Yeah, I believe so.
And it's,
well, I guess technically 3 with the flashback scene.
Fair. Yeah, okay.
one.
Yeah, fair. I guess technically 3 then.
Technically 3 on-screen deaths.
Yes.
No, 4.
4?
5 if you want to count an animal.
Oh, we'll get to it. Anyway, yeah, pretty much. Riley ends up in the hospital in semi-coma.
Seemingly still possessed.
Yeah, seemingly still possessed. He is being very held on.
Because-
I think they said he was held onto it for 2 minutes.
And they also theorized that the candle was never blown out, so the door was still open.
Right.
I don't know how much truth to that there was, though. I don't know the significance of the candle because they didn't really go into a lot of detail of the significance of the candle.
I mean, we pretty much, it's just candle opens the gate, candle closes the gate. And we do get that later, technically, but I don't actually know if it has any effect.
Yeah, I honestly don't think the candle had shit to do with shit, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in this film that I'm sure is answered, but isn't answered in such a direct way that I realize. Kind of a dummy sometimes, and attention is hard. But yes, Riley ends up in the hospital. Completely. Didn't even mention he tried to rip out one of his own eyes.
Oh, that was a little later. Oh no, that
No,
was
that
during the
was
little party
during the party. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that was. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like things going in the eyes. So,
No.
like, yeah, that part got to me a little bit.
Right? Like, yeah. But he's in kind of a semi-coma. He comes in and out. Every time he comes out of it, he tries to kill himself. Because I guess he was holding for 2 minutes, and the ghosts have strong hold on and in him. Mia has essentially been completely exiled from her surrogate family. Sue is furious with her, accuses her of like giving him drugs and this and that and the other. And during this time, I was
She
thinking to
smoked
myself,
weed one time.
yeah, because she smoked weed one time. But I was thinking about this, and I'm like, he's been in there long enough. They probably already did a toxicology on him when he came in, just like doing basic tests, getting him, fucking hooked up to machines and everything.
Well, no, I think that was before any, because later in the movie, when she comes back, she's apologizing to Mia because they came back
Right.
clean.
I'm just surprised that they didn't have
So
that
must have
information a
been,
little
like, as soon
sooner.
as maybe he got out of surgery or something.
That might be the case, yeah. So yeah, just a lot of accusation, but she's pretty much been ostracized from this family. Jade is furious with her. Sue is furious with her, and Sue tells her if she comes back again, she'll call the cops on her and all this, that, and the other.
This is because while she's in the hospital, she starts seeing visions of her mom, like in the window reflection
That's
of like the hospital rooms and stuff like that.
That's right. So yeah, so they say, yeah, she starts seeing the external ghosties, and as you said, sees her mom in like the hospital window reflections and whatnot.
And then it kind of jumps to Daniel giving her a ride home, and then
This
her
whole
asking
thing.
Daniel to stay with her because she needs somebody to. She's really vulnerable and needs somebody to stay, and that's when he's like, "Well, I'm dating your best friend." He's like, "Yeah, but we're just friends," kind of
Right.
thing, and that
It's not
ultimately
illegal.
convinces him to stay with her.
Right. It's how it always starts. It's how it always starts. So
Yep.
they get back to the house. They're sitting upstairs on the bed, reminiscing. Daniel realizes things are getting a little awkward as they're still comparing hand sizes and withdrawals, but they end up settling
And
into
then,
bed. Oh,
And
sorry.
it's also revealed that Mia stole the hand.
We do get that. Do we get that before or after?
I think it's when he drives her home.
Okay. Yeah, that whole fun fact. I don't know how she got away with it. Hang on a
All the
second.
commotion of him smashing his face in, like, probably just tucked it in. Well, because they kept it Joss, who is in possession of the hand the whole time. He has it in a backpack the whole time.
Right.
So correction. It was so Daniel takes Mia back home, and then this is, where they kind of get the whole awkward thing, like you were saying. And then they're both asleep, or both laying in the bed. He's asleep, she's still awake, and she's just trying to get like any kind of like connection by like, putting her foot like on his arm, or putting her arm against his leg, whatever.
Right.
And then that's when she starts seeing a different spirit in the corner of her bed, or in her bedroom, and then she is possessed. So she thinks she's seeing this spirit like coming up on Daniel and grossly sucking his feet, because that's
Whole
disgusting.
foot.
Not, it's just not for me. It may be for other people, not for me. But then she's trying to wake up Daniel, because she is seeing this from like an out of body experience. But then when Daniel wakes up, it's actually Mia
Whole
possessed.
foot.
It literally almost has his whole foot in her mouth, and she doesn't realize that it is her doing it. She thinks it's the spirit doing it. And then this is when he kind of storms out because he's weirded out, and then this is when we get the realization that she stole the hand and wants to have that connection. And that's when she kind of does it on her own to get that connection with her mom.
Which I guess if you don't invite it inside, you can just hold it and see them, and that's okay. I guess I don't know
As
what
long
that
as you
rule
don't let
is.
them in, as long as you don't say I let you in, they don't come inside. But I guess you could still
Hang out and talk
this
to
is
them.
also a part where you can actually, where we find out she can actually talk to them without letting them in her.
Right. This is the talk to me part of it. Definitely should have called the movie I Let You In. I don't know that, but we do get the talking finally with the spirits. And there's this talk throughout of them being able to like imitate loved ones and this, that, and the other, and it just never crosses her mind, I guess. I don't know if she knew this right off the rip, but I feel like this was actually mentioned earlier in the film, that they can imitate people.
Yeah, but again, with her being depressed and lonely of losing
Desperate.
her mom, and then she sees her mom, she's just assuming that's her mom.
Gotta play smart when playing with the dead. Can't fuck around, man. Demons. But yeah, this is, I think, she gets the explanation, or her mother tells her that, it was an accident. She would never do this to herself. She'd never leave her family and this, that, and the other. I think that's the kind of exposition we get out of that, which we also find out is a lie.
And her mom tells her that like Riley's in danger.
Yeah, Riley's in danger, and then they lay down and go to sleep. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that closes out that scene. I feel like I stopped taking notes at some point, but I can't exactly remember where. It was after they go to from there, they kind of fade out from her curled up on the bed with her mom, and it goes into a scene at the hospital where Jade is bathing Riley, who's still worse for the wear and mostly unresponsive. What happens that makes him lash out? Because she's kind of just sponging him down and whatnot. And
I think her mom leaves the room. I think like somebody like calls her mom or something like that, or calls on the phone or something like that, and then I forget what happens, but he just like
this is where he ends
all
up
of a sudden
biting
just,
himself.
like, kind of wakes up,
right?
And now he starts like bashing the back of his head against the wall.
That's after
And
he
then
lands on the ground, but he bites into something to get himself down on the ground. Maybe it's like a strap or something holding him in the chair.
He bites Jade. Also.
Okay. He does end up biting her as well. Yeah, ends up on the ground and begins bashing his head into the wall so hard that he breaks the tile. And we get a close out on that scene, just close up on the drain as blood is going down it, and kind of the audio goes a little fuzzy and dulled, muted rather. And this leads us into the gang deciding they need to track down Colt and find out more information on this hand that Duckett passed off before putting a knife in his forehead. And Cole doesn't want to talk to them. I think Cole has an issue with Josh specifically because there is a bit on the bus and everything, and he finds... they tell him that, Riley has had his hands on it. He had it for over 2 minutes, and, they need help and everything. And that's when he asks Josh when he's going to stop fucking up other people's lives. Pretty much they don't get any useful information from this, and this is the part where, they get off the bus and everything, and they kind of bring up the idea that maybe they didn't close the gate. And that's why the spirits are still holding on to Riley at this point. Bloody hell, I don't know why they listen to Mia, but Mia suggests going back and doing this, opening the gate and then closing it again with Riley there, even though he's, an unconscious
nobody else had
mess.
a better idea. I
mean, I guess, but fuck. Can't trust Mia, man. She's a problem. And they end up... They end up going back to the hospital, and they sit down, they do this, and they get the little girl that we're introduced to, who plays...
That was one of the spirits when Mia tries to do it.
Yeah.
To, see if they can find Riley, because they think he's somewhere else and not actually in his body. And then this is where Mia starts getting visions of Riley being tortured by all the other spirits.
Yeah, which, they described it as like fun on the other side and everything, but then they show you that and it doesn't look all that fun and euphoric, honestly. It looks like a weird oozy orgy that I don't want to be a part of. But yes, you meet this little girl. She acts as the conduit between them to be able to shut the gate. Shows me a vision, she shows me the vision of Riley, and Mia goes home where her father decides to finally have a sit down with her and read off her mother's suicide note, kind of revealing to her that, it wasn't an accident. I was just trying to protect you. I should have told you sooner. And Mia doesn't, she's not having any of it. Dips off, goes to her room, closes herself in. And begins talking to her mother again, because I guess she doesn't need to hold the hand at this point in order to talk to her. I don't think she's holding the hand at this point. She might be.
No.
But yeah, she has a hallucination of her father bursting through the door. Meanwhile, he's sitting out in the living room. Doesn't know what the hell's going on. Bursting through the door, attacking her, strangling her on the floor. Her dad actually comes in just as she's reaching for a set of scissors to fight off fake dad, and plunges the scissors directly into his throat, removing them with a very juicy spurt of maybe more blood than I needed. At this point, she doesn't even really clean herself up. She just kind of knows she has to go save Riley, and the only way to do that is to kill him. Killing him will set him free. We know
that's kind of where the kangaroo that they find in the middle of the road at the beginning comes in, because she couldn't put the kangaroo out of its misery, but
Then
she wants to put Riley out of his misery.
follows the kangaroo to put Riley out of his misery. It's leaves her dad Max, goes to the hospital, tricks Jade into coming to her house. I guess she just wanted Jade out of the way because she knew if Jade was there, she would stop her from doing what she had to do. But tricks her. Jade pulls up at her house, gets tired of waiting, ends up going in and finds Max leaning against the wall, still alive, holding something to his throat, trying to, stem the bleeding. He lives, yeah? I don't
think so.
No?
I don't know. They never really show him.
I'll look it up after just so we can confirm it. I think he might live, but I'm not 100% sure.
I know Jade called 911 to get him, but I don't know.
Yeah. Jade calls her mom, Sue, let her know, bruh, Mia's not here. I'm at Mia's house. Mia's not here. Her dad is fucking stabbed in the throat. Sue's like, oh, Mia's here. And he's like, well, she's fucking crazy and you need to stop her. By this point, it's too late. Sue gets back to the room and Mia's already followed the kangaroo out and is wheeling Riley down a little embankment towards a highway. Fortunately, Jade pulls up just in time. And I know I had a little confusion at the end there because I didn't know if she came to her senses and threw herself into the road, or if Jade did it, shoved her.
It doesn't really show. It just kind of fades to black, and the next time it comes up, Mia's in the middle of the road.
Actually,
after a car accident.
Actually, going through the synopsis that we have over here, reading into that, it confirms Mia instead jumps in front of the car herself, saving Riley, who is rescued by Jade. In that last moment, she comes to her senses. That's where I was confused because it looked like she let go of the wheelchair and was coming out of something, being like, "Oh fuck, what?" But yeah, it didn't really confirm what had happened there. So I'm glad that at least the synopsis here gives a little bit of light on that. I'm happy to know that. Then Mia's standing and she's in the middle of the road looking around. And then all of a sudden she's in the hospital and she's walking around and checking in on Riley and the family and everything. And then the lights are slowly going out one by one. She sees her father walking away and she's calling out to him and he ignores her and walks through doors and the lights go out there. Jade and the family are leaving. The lights go out and she's left in the darkness. She begins wandering through this darkness, sees a light, and begins following it. And we get the nice little twist at the end where she is on the other side of the table. And there is another unsuspecting fool that has just taken her by the hand. And that's where our film ends. Anything else to add on to the end of that, RJ? Anything that I might have missed there that you remember?
No, that pretty much kind of covers the whole movie.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm glad I saw that little bit in the synopsis there, kind of confirming that she jumped herself to save Riley. That makes me feel a little better about her and all the big horrid downfall bullshit she was on. It's good redemption. It's still a little sad. But interesting. All in all, really good friggin' movie. I didn't know what I expected going into it. I definitely did not expect to get what I got out of it. That is in the best way possible. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Go watch this fucking movie. If you just sat here and you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. You'll love it. But with that, I suppose we can go on and we can go to our instant replay section where we will determine our favorites of the kills, which there aren't a lot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can pull up that kill count for us real quick. There are 3 counted deaths and 2 non-counted deaths. For the deaths, we have Duckett with the knife to the eye. I guess he didn't make a unicorn of himself. I'm a little disappointed. Rhea, Mia's mom, who's found dead in the bathroom or bedroom, and Mia herself hit by a car. The non-counted are various spirits, which of course we can't count, and Max stabbed in the neck with scissors. I don't know why that is a non-counted death, unless it is just because it wasn't on screen.
Because the last time you see him, he's still alive.
He's still alive, right?
But I guess when Mia sees him, or as they call it in the synopsis, when Mia's in limbo, she sees her dad, so that's probably him in there with her.
Right. That makes sense. Love it when things fall into place. So out of the 3, slim pickings on this. I think we can both probably agree on this, just because it was the top one right away.
This is the first time the best death / kill of the whole movie is in the first 5 minutes of the fucking movie.
Straight up.
Like that just straight, like, you're like, holy shit, he just stabbed his brother. The next thing you know, there's a knife in his head.
Right. They gave us the best right out the gate. I guess since there were only 3, there were so few.
Wanted to get your attention.
Right. They had to start strong. So respect. Can't really do a least thank you so much. Talk to me. You've completely destroyed the premise of our one segment just by being too damn good. Not really a place for a least favorite death. And we don't have anything that has anything to do with an animal. What animal died?
The Roo.
Oh no, you're right. Oh no, when she saw the kangaroo, she saw the dead kangaroo. Is that what you're telling me? Fine, the kangaroo didn't deserve to die. Fuck this shit. Horrible movie, 0 out of 10 stars. Now I'm sad. We can flop it over to a scene. Did you have a favorite scene in this film? Let's go with that.
It's the opening scene.
Just
by
the opening.
far. Like, that is just like I said, shot right out of a fucking cannon with that.
Yeah, fuck it. I guess the movie is the first 5 minutes of the movie. We didn't need the extra.
Seriously.
That's the sequel, don't you know? It was just all packaged together. Yeah, I have to agree with you. That was excellent. I will say the musical sequence where she is singing like an old French woman might be my favorite scene.
That was fun.
That was a very fun, very weird,
scene,
surreal. Yeah, it was a very fun, weird, surreal scene. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that was my favorite because that one still sticks out to me throughout the whole film.
And
so
I know we said earlier, but Sophie Wilde.
Wilde, fucking bravo. I'm gonna go tweet. Hi. Just want to say, talk to me. Good movie. Excellent role. You do good, champ. B star. Yeah, but no, fucking fantastic. Really, not gonna lie, we sped run this show. This is gonna be our shortest episode on the books. Let me tell you, I really hope I don't make a liar of myself by something coming out before this being shorter and then being like, well, fuck, I gotta go back and cut it now. But yes, anything else, RJ, before we go ahead and do socials and wrap up?
I think we could just maybe tell the kids what the next movie is.
Oh yeah, we get to go ahead and do that. Let's go.
You got some real strong choices here between one movie.
I know, right? If I were doing the season finale, this would absolutely be the season finale, but this will be our penultimate episode, our finale before the finale, as I will call it from here on out. Damn it. We're going to watch 13 Ghosts with the beloved Matthew Lillard, who, oh my goodness.
I mean, you put Matthew Lillard in a movie, it's already somewhat decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be at least halfway to gold. Easy peasy.
Exactly.
We love Matthew Lillard in this house. We stand him all day. He is very edging past DILF territory, which I don't want to think about Grandpa Lillard, but still love him. He's still got a goofy attitude. He's still great. He's been in some of, at least a couple of the best horror, really, of our generation. Yeah. Anyway, love him to death. Hey, RJ. If you wanted to find us, where would you find us? Quiz. Hey, quiz.
Oh, god damn it.
Let's go. Where are you?
At Hobbesy Horror?
Hey, you got it.
I mean,
that was easy, right?
It was right there the whole time. I should have known, but it's usually the obvious answer is the wrong answer, or it feels wrong every single time, even if it's right.
That's not how Occam's razor work, is it? Did I just say actual English? Did I speak good? What? How do Occam razor? But yes, you can find us at Twitter/X and Threads Blue Sky, which we don't really use the following. I'm thinking of knocking them off until maybe one day we get a better handle on socials. But at Hobbesy Horror, just across the board, you can find us. You can find myself personally at, I think I'm just that Hobbesy now. I've changed it as of a week from this recording past, but probably a month or so in the past from airing. Whatever. At that Hobbesy on Twitter, X, IG, Threads, Blue Sky, across the board, all good things, including Twitch, where occasionally I stream. Hopefully we'll get back into a schedule with that if we're not already by now. A lot we got to do over there, a lot of fun things to be done. Thinks. I've got nothing else. RJ, where can they find you?
At RJWare89.
Over on Twitter/X. It's the only social he keeps, and he talks sports, so check it out. Tell him we need a sports podcast that doesn't involve me. If you have any questions, well, we'll see. If you have any questions, concerns, any intriguing plots you'd like to let us in on, suggestions.
Tell us what suck. Something.
Right. If you want to tell us anything, send it to our email, hobbsyhorror@gmail.com. We'll take recommendations on things. We'll take your criticisms. I hear noise out there. Again, questions, concerns, complaints, yada, yada. Send it to us. We promise it's not going to the void. We will check it. We'll respond to it. If you want us to respond to it here, we'll respond to it here. There's limited things we'll say, but who knows? We'll see what happens. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. Greatly appreciate it. Whether you think we deserve it or not, it helps the algorithm, and that's the way the world works these days. Don't make me do something drastic. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good shit. Share with people. Anywhere you're listening, share with people. For the love of God, we love you. We need it. And have a great night. Bye.